Everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this hour-long session on what innovation and holistic well-being looks like from an insider's perspective. Today's webinar is brought to you by Kickstart, Migros, and AXA. I'm Priyanka, I'm the HealthTech lead at Kickstart. I'll be your moderator today. Nice to meet you all. And I'm joined by my colleagues, Franziska Bohm, who's the food and retail tech lead, as well as Regina Fernandez, who is a program manager at Kickstart. Kickstart is an open innovation platform, and we accelerate commercial partnerships between scale-ups, startups, and established private and public institutions in Switzerland. We operate across 5 industry areas: health tech, food and retail tech, smart city and technology, edtech and new work, fintech and insurtech. And we also have an entrepreneurship program, and we launched a circular economy initiative last year. And at Kickstart, we're really committed to pushing a culture of innovation. And we're lucky that we have our longtime partners with us here today. We have Migros and we have AXA. And they have been pushing innovation both internally and externally across several industry areas. AXA, as you all know, is a leading insurer in Switzerland, and they offer various solutions for individuals and for companies, from life and health to pension solutions and more. And we have Migros, Switzerland's largest retail company. They operate in stores across retail, wellness and fitness, learning and development, and other areas. We are also joined by 3 of our very talented alumni startups, who I will soon have the pleasure of introducing. But first, some webinar housekeeping, because every webinar needs some housekeeping. All right. So this webinar is being recorded, and we will share the recording. If you have any questions along the way, please pop it in the Q&A box. Attendees are muted, but we will get to as many questions as we can. And please do ask questions. It really makes for a more fun, interactive time. Okay, so that is it for housekeeping. And now the most exciting stuff, our speakers. So we are joined today by Jacopo Dandrea. Sorry, I'm so terrible with names. Jacopo Dandrea from AXA, Open Innovation Manager. We have Cécile Schmied from Migros, Product Manager of Health. And we have Koch from Migros Industry, Senior Project Manager. And then our alumni speakers, Dr. Hanne Horvath from HelloBetter, who's the co-founder and VP of Business Development at HelloBetter. We have Noah Lorenz from mementor, the CEO and founder. And we have Arnold Herrings, who's the head of sales at Posidonia. So the lineup for this next hour is that we're going to have 3 pairs of speakers. Each of these pairs has entered into a commercial collaboration together. So it's really cool to hear from you all. We're going to start by hearing from AXA and HelloBetter, then Migros and mementor, followed by Migros and Posidonia. So, and then we will launch into our Q&A. And if we have some time, we have Franziska and Regina, who will share with us some frequently asked questions from startups. Always fun to hear. So without further ado, I would like to invite Jacopo and Hanne. Jacopo, if you could, so in no particular order, but if you could share with us, why is holistic well-being important to AXA, and how are you working on this topic internally? And if you could also speak a bit about your collaboration with HelloBetter, and of course, any insights that you can share to the types of startups that you look to partner with in the future. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Priyanka. Here is Jacopo from the Open Innovation team of AXA. So let's start from the basics, or let's say from the problem, to better understand why holistic well-being is important for AXA. As many of you already know, our health is shaped by different factors. One of the factors that is responsible for most of the resources and costs right now within the industry is clinical or medical care, which means we usually react to clients or patients' needs as soon as they arise. This is important, but we must not forget, as shown by different studies, that our health is shaped by a range of factors that are or can be easily influenced by ourselves, such as the person's individual characteristic and health behaviors, the physical environment, the social and economic environment. Considering and addressing all those factors do not only means to play a key role in reacting to clients or patients' needs, but also being proactive and addressing, let's say, health and well-being as a whole at all levels, which means individual, family, workplace, etc., by promoting health and helping people to remain healthy. And this is what we understand when speaking about holistic well-being at AXA. And for the mentioned reason, we at AXA are focused, let's say, on the one hand on prevention, health promotion, in order to keep our, I would say now, population healthy, which are both private clients, policyholders, and of course our insured SMEs, corporates, and their employees. And we do it in order to avoid long absences from work and to empower them to lead a better life and improve their lifestyles, basically. On the other hand, on the healthcare, illness or care management level, we want to support people who are sick and or plan their reintegration at the workplace with innovative solutions, both digital, such as with HelloBetter, or as well on-site, physical, such as with, for example, with our care manager. How do we work on these topics? We have an open innovation approach at AXA for beyond services. That means services that goes beyond our core, which is insurance. We have a stage gate process consisting of a problem identification step. We then screen the market to find out solutions that could potentially solve the identified problem. And as soon as we found the right partner, then we perform pilots, MVPs, proof of concept to test a solution or more solutions. And finally, in case of success, we then decide to roll out or to scale the solution. What type of startups are we looking for? As I already said, on the one hand, lifestyle and health promotion, covering all topics, factors such as mindfulness, mental health, physical health, and nutrition. And on the other hand, a strong focus on employee well-being management, which particular focus on small and medium enterprises and their employees. And by combining these both aspects, both topics that I just mentioned, we believe we can, I would say, create an employee journey for a healthier lifestyle. I now come to HelloBetter. Why we started a collaboration with HelloBetter? Maybe just as a briefing, we were looking for online digital solutions in the mental health market, focusing on both prevention and treatments, covering the whole customer journeys. And this is exactly what HelloBetter is covering, what HelloBetter is offering with prevention with online trainings focused on prevention as well as on treatment. In general, why HelloBetter? Because it is completely anonymous. It's fully online, especially in those times. The possibility to perform the trainings from anywhere and at any time was key in the decision. But of course, only with back-end support from therapists through chat and through other channels. This was very important for us. Scientific validation, HelloBetter could prove the effectiveness of their trainings from a scientific perspective. User-based traction was also and was also very important for us when working with startups. They already had many users that performed the trainings. They had super positive feedbacks. Solutions were already on the market, so they were already using the online trainings, and this was for us very important. And finally, I would say team is key. My colleagues met HelloBetter at Kickstart last year. They had a very good first impression, good feeling from the very beginning. The empathy were and is there right now. And this is the real value added offered by Kickstart as well, giving such a platform where, as I said, corporates need startups, they can speak with the founders, they can get first impressions and so on. So final words, we are very happy with HelloBetter. Our pilot is still ongoing until September. Until now, it went very well. We had many learnings on different topics, such as target clients, such as value proposition, distribution channels, and so on. And we really look forward to what comes after the pilot. So I think my 5 minutes, I already passed the 5 minutes. I give the word to Hanne.
Thanks a lot, Jacopo. That was really insightful. And exactly, now passing the baton on to Hanne, would love to invite you to share your experience, what it looks like, scoping this partnership together with AXA, as well as your experience with Kickstart, and any advice that you might have for startups in the audience working on such partnerships.
Sure. Thanks, Priyanka. Thanks, Jacopo. I remember quite vividly when I met your colleagues prior to the Kickstart program, but also in Zurich. And for me, or for HelloBetter, Kickstart was a real extraordinary experience, I would say. We applied because we heard a lot about the Kickstart program within the startup scene. So very positive experiences from other startups who participated in the program in the past. So that really convinced us to apply and really try to be accepted to the program. And I experienced Kickstart as a very hands-on experience, very focused. Basically, I always say a no bullshit program, because there are also other examples, I would say. So it's really extremely organized people that open up the whole network for us, or for the startups participating. That was really amazing. And I felt it was really about like enabling projects and contracts. So it's really about doing, not so much about just thinking stuff through or advising, but really about doing. And this is what was good for HelloBetter, what we really liked about it. So during the days in Zurich, we had one fruitful conversation after the other, and for us it was really a foot in the door in the Swiss market, so to say. And I think that the project with AXA is really a good example of how such a project can go. I remember that we started, the Kickstart crew started also preparing enabling the conversations we had with AXA, even providing like model contracts or model NDAs, which was really helpful. And then we started closing a sort of NDA model contract, I think in November or December, and the pilot started in February, I guess. February. So this is a really fast process. Kickstart really helped here. Normally this process is almost never this fast. So that was really great. And the project itself, I already said, it started in February. It's going very well. Like Jacopo said, we are very happy with it. And it's quite a complex project that started very fast, because it covers our whole portfolio. It's really about giving the people insured with AXA and the companies that work with AXA access to our whole portfolio. So to all digital therapeutics for mental health, from depression to anxiety, insomnia, burnout. And like Jacopo said, the users complete our product and then get access to our companion app that really focuses on giving people back hope into the daily life, tracking mood, tracking symptoms over the whole year. So we will even get data out of this project when the pilot officially ended, I guess. So that's about the project. The first data we have look very good. So we are not only looking at the patients or the users here, but also, like Jacopo said, testing channels, testing different funnels, testing what is the best approach to motivate users to participate, which is very interesting. And the last question, Priyanka, you asked what is it that I would advise startups. I think I would really advise to take this process very seriously, really engage with the program. And I think for me, it's important to mention that a POC or pilot contract, it's not only about giving you access to the Swiss market, but also like really helping you test and execute international business cases. So for us, it was not only helpful for Switzerland. That's I think important to mention. And also what I would advise, that you really come prepared. I mean, you know who the partners are, you know that it's AXA or Migros or whatever. So really have a look at the needs of these different partners involved in the program. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Hanne. And Jacopo, it's again for your candid thoughts. Would you like to respond to each other, or do you have a question for each other before we move on?
Oh, we talk very frequently, so I guess
yes.
at the moment.
Okay. Hey, well, thanks a lot to you both, and wishing you all the continued success for your collaboration together.
Thank you.
Next up, I would like to invite Cécile and Noah, if you could please join us. And I would like to start with Cécile. Very similar to Jacopo, Cécile, could you share why holistic well-being is important to Migros and how you're working on it internally? And of course, if you could speak to the collaboration with mementor, and if you could share the types of startups you're looking to partner with in the future. Again, in no specific order. To you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Thank you for having me. Wow, I think it's already a third year in a row that we're participating. So, wow, yeah, a lot of time passed by already, and I'm very happy to be here. So to start, I just want to give you some insight about why we believe at Migros health and wellness and innovation are such important topics. So we have to go back a bit to our founder, Gottlieb Duttwiller. He actually founded Migros almost 100 years ago, and how he started the business was very innovative. So he just bought some cars, and then he went to the customer, and basically he brought his products to the customer. So even at that time, this was like super new, very innovative. And also we see in this example that people were very much in his focus all the time, as well as innovation. But how is it today? I mean, we all know that Migros is definitely not a startup anymore. But we are a Swiss company, and we are still very passionate about our customers and their quality of life. And our core value is to think and also live and act sustainable. And we believe that this always requires a holistic approach. And this is also why we see health in a very holistic way. And we believe that this concept includes everything. So physical, mental, emotional health, the environment, it's affected by everything, basically. So some of you might think that Migros is just another retailer and we just sell food products. But this is not the case. We really have different connection to our customers' health journey. And I feel it's important to highlight some of them here, just to make sure that you understand that we connect with our customers in every aspect of their health journey. So I'll highlight some of them, not all of them, just the most important one here in this context. So for example, we have Clubschule. This is a group fitness provider. And also we do have a wide range of trainings for health and wellness professionals. Then Freizeitanlagen, which are the gyms. We're the biggest fitness studio chain in Switzerland. MedBase is our health centers. They provide a wide range of services for patients. SportX is a retailer. They provide you with everything, accessory, equipment, whatever you need to stay healthy and active. Then also very important is Impulse. It's a very strong health literacy platform. They educate the Swiss population about health and well-being. And food, of course, food is very important when it comes to health as well. I'm not going to talk about food because my colleague Dani is going to explain this in detail a bit more later on. So as you can see, from this few example, our health spectrum is super wide and holistic, and we are happy that yeah, we can get some more inspiration and maybe some new fields we can go into through startups, and also to do some more PLC this year. Yeah, speaking of PLCs, we are looking for dynamic startups which are already in a later stage. Usually as a bigger company, it's important to us that we make sure that we gain some speed and get fresh new ideas, market insights, and hopefully also prosper in collaboration with startups. Depending on the year, we usually do 3 to 4 POCs. It also depends how many startups do apply and what are our main focuses this year. And then, of course, one of them was with Noah and mementor, an online-based sleep training. For us, it was important that we could understand if digital sleep training is something that is asked by the Swiss population and if there is a fit with the brand. So yeah, I'm happy to give back to you, Priyanka, or actually Noah. I think you're going to get us some more details about the POC and especially the collaboration with Migros and myself. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to some interesting and powerful application and the new Kickstart cycle.
Thank you so much, Cécile, for sharing that and also telling us a bit about the ins and outs of Migros and all you're doing in health. I would like to invite you, of course, Noah, to chat a bit about the partnership that you did with Migros and, of course, your experience at Kickstart, and if you have any advice for startups who will be entering such types of partnerships in the future. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Priyanka. Yeah, maybe first of all, let me answer the question why we took part at Kickstart. I think Hanne mentioned it already. I think Kickstart is a very, very important opportunity for startups to get connected to the Swiss startup scene. And on top of this, Zurich is a very beautiful city and it's always worth going there. So that was actually the main reason we wanted to take part, and clearly because we have heard, and actually this came true, that it is very hands-on and very all about making these POCs, these pilot projects with relevant stakeholders in Switzerland, so bigger companies like Migros. And yeah, actually I got to know Migros quite in a different way, because when I was in Switzerland, I always knew that Migros is the place where you go when you want to shop groceries, but that's just one tiny part of it. So there's way more. So we were very happy that we got the opportunity to do a POC with that company. And actually the goal of this POC for us was to test the Swiss market with our product, or with one part of our product. We wanted to find out whether it's a relevant business case to offer one of our product that is more focused on like prevention for people that have sleep issues. We wanted to find out whether the Swiss market and such a cooperation, for example, with Migros Impulse or Migros Clubschule, could work to reach out to potential customers and to potential people that can that are somehow a relevant target group for us. So with our products, it's all about enhancing sleep and well-being. And yeah, this is also, I think, one main important advice I could give to other startups. I think it's very important, if you take part in Kickstart and if you cooperate with stakeholders there, that you have a clear question you want to answer. So for us, it was very helpful to first of all, to sit together with Migros and then discuss about what do we actually want to learn, what could be the outcome of our POC. I think that's very important, and that's actually what we did, and it's still ongoing, so we haven't evaluated the results yet, so I can't tell you whether what our outcome in the end is, but I'm very optimistic that, and in my opinion, what I've heard so far, it went pretty well actually. So I can just encourage everyone to take part at Kickstart. It's also just a nice experience to be there. I would also recommend to go to Zurich to meet the people on the spot. This or last year it was a bit difficult due to the situation, but it was in summer. It was possible at least at some days, and was a really nice and fun experience. So I really liked it. I hope, Priyanka, I've answered your questions. Otherwise, you have to ask again.
No, that was great, Noah, and we do hope to see you back in Zurich soon. And thanks to you both, to you and Cécile. Would you like to respond to each other on anything, or do you have a question for each other before we move to the next and final pair?
I think we have a meeting tomorrow, day after tomorrow, so maybe we can discuss later on or now. I don't know. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that I really appreciated also our collaboration. It was always super interesting. And as you said, we sat in together in the beginning and we discussed what do we want to learn as Migros, but what is also important to learn for you as a startup. And I think that went well. We know that sleep is a big topic in Switzerland already. And yeah, I also like the way how easy it was to work together. And I think that's a very important fact as well. As Jacopo also said in his speech, it's important that there is a good connection between the company and the startup as well.
We'll wish you all the best for your ongoing collaboration.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Next, we're going to switch gears a bit from the health tech space into food and retail tech. So I would like to invite Daniel and Arnold to please join us. There you are. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
And I would love to ask the first question to Daniel on a similar trope to Jacopo and Cécile. Could you talk about holistic well-being at Migros Industry and how you're working on this topic internally? And of course, if you could also share some insights about your collaboration with Posidonia and the types of startups you're looking to partner with in the future. So over to you, Danielle. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Priyanka. Well, yeah, of course, the Migros industry has a lot of manufacturing companies. We produce lots of products, more than 20,000 products you can buy on the shelves, but it's not only we produce for the retail, also for the food service. So we cover a broad area. And I would say as normal in the food industry, as also in other areas, we always have to think of what's next, what is coming, what is new. But at the same time, we also have known issues. For example, we should reduce sugar, we should reduce salt levels. The food we eat, of course, is not always too healthy, so you have to measure and check that you can improve the health or issues related to the food. We have a look at the trends that are going on in the market, and we also see that it's going more into the direction of personalized nutrition. Very specific point now coming is the Nutri-Score that is being introduced more and more into Switzerland, and the Migros industry or Migros in general wants to introduce that as well. So in this context, we are always looking for new ideas, new raw materials, new technologies. Sometimes we also maybe miss a certain point. So that's why we also think it's very good to have startups that may have a new idea, something that we overlooked. They have a new technology, a new invention. And I think combining this will make us also stronger, faster, and in the end, we can produce better products that will be bought by the consumers and have an impact. So internally, yeah, of course, we are contacting suppliers. We talk about new raw materials from existing suppliers, bigger suppliers, but of course also together now with Kickstart. Since I think 5 years, we are together with Kickstart. It's a good opportunity to get startups, to get new ideas, try the business, try a business case they have. And of course, you can never say how sometimes you have a success, sometimes you may have half a success, maybe the cost is too high or it doesn't work in the end in the production facility. On a lab scale level, it may work, but not when you scale it up. But I think that's part of the learning for both sides, for a startup and also for us in the Migros industry. And yeah, I think I can only encourage startups to apply, to bring their ideas, and I think we are curious to learn, to see, to evaluate where does it fit into which product or product segment. And I think with Posidonia, we had a good example. Obviously, salt reduction is a big topic, and we evaluated already a lot of salt replacers. And it's always the issue because salt is one of the cheapest raw materials, and replacing it is very difficult and usually more expensive. But then you have to work together closely, do a proof of concept, work on specific projects or products, and then only you can find out if it can continue, if it can be successful or not. I think that's what we did exactly with Posidonia. And for sure, Arnold, you can talk a bit more how you experience the collaboration with the micro industry. Yeah, I think that's a bit where we are and what we need.
Thanks a lot for sharing, Danielle, and yeah, as well as for discussing a bit on what you're looking for the future. And next up, I think, yes, it would be great to have Arnold join us and of course speak about your collaboration with Migros, as well as a bit about your experience at Kickstart, and most importantly, if you have also some advice for any startups that are in the audience looking at collaborations like this.
Perfect, thanks. Thank you very much. So I'm Arnold from Posidonia. So we are a Belgium startup or scale-up now, producing a low sodium salt. So we help retailers and food producers to reduce the salt by keeping the taste. So behind me, you have our factory in Formentera in Spain. And so for us, actually, the Kickstart adventure was amazing too. We have been, the experience was really great because for us, it's an easy manner to close the gap between startups and scale-ups and larger corporations. It's also a great manner if you want to launch a new country. We were present in Belgium, in France, in Netherlands, in Germany, in Spain and Italy, but not in Switzerland yet. So there you have directly the big corporations that you need to meet if you want to launch your project. It's also a good place to meet other insightful startups in food, but also in HealthTech, in InsurTech, in FinTech, in many other categories. And then it's a great place to make contacts. To make contacts through the biodiversity of a startup, but also the Swiss corporation. For us, the partnership with Migros was also really great. So actually now. Danielle, I would say, is the gateway to Migros. So previously Danielle, it was another person, but so actually they are doing everything to try to pitch for you guys your project inside Migros, to find the best place where we can try your products or your service. And we had the possibility to try on bread, so to reduce the salt in bread. And there we met with Jova, which is the biggest baker for Migros, and also Bakery Hoog. And so now today, after signing a POC, Bakery Hoog is still using Posidonia in his stores. With Jova, we need to work a bit more, but for us, only that is already a success. Now we were in 2019, beginning 2020, and now we come back to see with Migros where we can go further with the Nutri-Score, which is now booming in Switzerland, and reducing also the salt in other categories than bread, like soups, ready meals, pizzas. So for us, the first contact, thanks to Kickstart, was the start of a larger collaboration, I would say. So for the moment, it's not a business already, but it's a great collaboration, and seeing how we can help Migros as partners, you, Migros, and us, how we can do together to improve the health of your customers. And finally, yeah, as advisor for startups, I would definitely apply. I think that now it's the right timing to do it. Please come here with concrete examples of your track record, success, and potential for the partners here at Kickstart. And finally, also try to personalize as much as possible your presentation to the people that you have in front of you, to be sure that they can directly identify between 100 or 200 or 300 candidates that you are the one. That would be my final advice.
Thanks a lot, Arnold, for your tips and also sharing about your collaboration. And thanks to all of our speakers for this candid exchange. And I think it's always so exciting to hear about how the partnerships are going and how they evolved. So congrats to everyone as well on that. We will now move to our Q&A part. I know we have an intimate crew here, so I will read out some of the questions, but also, feel free to raise your hand if you'd like to ask the question directly, and I will unmute you. The first question is, can you please explain what's happening during a POC or a partnership? Can you define what that means? Who would like to take that question? And yes. Everyone can, who just said yes?
Yes, me, Regina. I can answer that question.
Super, thanks, Reggie.
Okay, do we have only one question, or shall we take a few and answer? Or it's okay?
At the moment, we only have one question from the audience, so maybe we can take that first. And then if anyone else has any questions, please do pop it into the Q&A.
Okay. So Kickstart enables partnerships and pilot projects. What we aim is during this time from September until November that you will develop a commercial agreement at the end, or a pilot project at the end of the program at Kickstart. So we call it proof of concept or pilot project. And this is required. This will help you to scale your business in Switzerland. And this is a pilot project. Will be negotiated with the partners, and we help you to develop this during our program.
Thanks, Reg.
Okay, please, you can correct me.
Oh. No, that's great. We also have another question. Can you share some examples of stories for food and health? By stories, I'm assuming this means pilots and POCs. So maybe Francisca from the food side, and Daniel, if you want to add anything else from the food side, and then we can maybe switch to health.
Yes, happy to tell a bit more about our success stories from the past. So one example I always love to give is the example of Planted. It's a plant-based meat, so a replacement of meat. They participated in Kickstart in 2019 and collaborated with Koch, our other retailer who's our partner in food and retail tech. And they did a pilot, so they placed the products in a few shops. And it was like a win-win situation for both sides, because Planted, the startup, could see, so how do we, how are our products performing in the shelves? And the retailer could see at the same time, is the demand already there for plant-based solutions? And it went really well, this POC, and now the Planted products are all over in the 3,500 shops available, and Planted just raised I think 16 million Swiss francs, so it's a huge success story. But Daniel, maybe you can share some more success stories from the micro industry. I think, for example, Café Bueno, it would be another really good success story, but I guess you have another example.
Yeah, I think I can also share another example where we work together with a startup in the chickpea protein area, chickpea flour. They came with a new, let's say, technology to process chickpeas to get a chickpea protein concentrate, and it was quite a long process altogether, where we evaluated the raw material. It has been refined or adjusted, let's say. And eventually we managed that Ilsa could produce a chickpea-based yogurt or a fermented product with a vegan fermented product based on chickpea protein, chickpea flour. So I think that's also quite an interesting success story. I think planted is what you mentioned already, but I think also with Posidonia, I still come back to that one. I think it's a good one because sometimes you cannot cover everything with the proof of concept in like 3 months, but you make a very clear agreement, a plan where you say we want to test this salt replace in 1 or 2 or 3 products. We want to make triangular tests to see if there is a difference or not, or to establish how big the difference is, and then you go on. And obviously with Jova, it didn't work initially, but with Bäckerei Hug it worked. So I think these are the type of concepts or projects that we do. And since I'm a bit too new in this role, I cannot tell too much about the Coffee Bueno. I'm not yet into that details, but that's what I can share so far.
Great. I'm happy to jump in for the health side. We do have a company called OneDoc, which is actually from Switzerland, and they integrated with Medbase. So they are essentially, on one side, patient management software, but also for clinicians, for booking appointments and things like this. And during when COVID hit last year, they developed a telehealth solution, goodness, in a matter of under a month. And then together with Medbase, they of course have scaled across Switzerland with over 2,000 therapists on board and practitioners on board. And they also surpassed 1 million COVID-19 vaccine appointments. So they're also scaling. 2 other things, Cécile and Jacopo, please feel free to also elaborate from your side. Migros also did a pilot with UpLife last year on personalized and integrated health, specifically around immune boosting. And of course, AXA also entered into a commercial partnership or pilot with Clinico, also a mental health startup from Switzerland. So if either of you want to say a few words about those pilots, please feel free.
I could maybe share something from Brave. And I found it very interesting what also Daniel said, just because we have the 3 months of a POC. It doesn't mean that this is the final proof of concept, and then it's not an ongoing process. So for example, with Brave, we did a POC, I think 1.5 years ago already. And we found out that basically the language was the problem. It was a digital mental health program. And we tested it in English, and we found out, okay, that's not gonna work here in Switzerland. And now we're still talking to them. They did a translation, and we're still in contact 1.5 years after them. And also other departments within the Migros group are interested in it. Maybe it's not gonna be with Clubschule or the initial POC, but it just opens so many doors. And I think that's also a huge value from that Kickstart program.
Thanks, Cécile. It's true. The Brave collaboration was really interesting. Jacopo, would you like to say anything about Clinico or any of your other pilots?
Yes, exactly. I can subscribe what Daniel said before. I think it's very important from both sides, from the startup and the corporate side. It's very important to be agile and to stay flexible in order to react, to change, or to pivot quickly, even during the proof of concept or the pilot, because you need to adapt probably your business model, you need to adapt maybe your revenue model, maybe you change the target clients, you need to reframe a little bit the value proposition. And this is what I consider the most important thing, to really to be able to change, be able to pivot, and do it pretty quickly, because as you said, the POC or a pilot usually lasts between 3 or 6 months. I'm a big fan of pilots that last more than 3 months, to be honest, because all the experiences that I had, you start a pilot of 3 months and then you will make it longer and longer and longer until 6 months, because then you, as I said, you pivot and you change something, and you need then to address other targets. You need to get to other clients, and then you still need to test it with new clients or with new people. So I think being flexible and open to change or to react quickly to insights or to learnings and circumstances it's very important from both sides.
Great, thanks a lot. Arnold or Hanne, would you have anything to add here on the process of pilots or?
No, yes, for us actually it was quite it was quite normal at the end. So because during the 4 months of Kickstart, you try to meet as much person as possible, and then actually the last 2 weeks it's like a big rush where we try to have your POC signed, and so for us it was really clear that, as Daniel said, we just want to first focus on bread for us, and then we will see what will happen with bread. But now, a couple of months ago, a couple of months after, and a bit more than a year now, we're gonna see on which other categories we can start. But I think that you just need to put the focus where you think that you can have the quickest impact, and then it's going smoothly.
Thank you.
Yeah, nothing to add, I guess so.
Okay, thanks, Hanne. And then we have another question, perhaps around the Kickstart program. So maybe Regina or Franziska, if you'd want to respond to this, it's what's the relationship between innovation and sustainability in the program, and then maybe our corporate partners, maybe Cécile, Daniel, and Jacopo could talk about it from your corporate perspective, the idea of sustainability mixed with innovation.
I can answer that. So we at Kickstart, of course, our core is innovation. So we focus on to find innovative solutions and to combine the startups and our partners. And it's in our core, in our heart, and sustainability is as well a big focus, of course. We focus as well in all our focus areas on circular economy, which is the base, and in all our areas. So it's really the main keywords, I would say, to describe Kickstart. But Priyanka or Regina, maybe you want to add something more to describe the relation between innovation and sustainability.
Over to you, Regina.
Okay, so we want to help the startups. We want to bring to Switzerland ecosystem those bring this gap together between sustainability, CE, and the innovative world. And this is what we are driving for success. So we want to develop this. And it's a challenge because we are all challenging in this transformation, but we believe that we can make it possible together. So there is no specific definition on this as a relationship, but together with the partners, we are working on that. And we're looking for these startups that want to make it better.
Thank you. Anything you'd add on the sustainability topic and how you're looking at it, Cécile, Jacopo, or Daniel?
Yeah, well, also, as any company, Migros also has certain sustainability objectives for the next year, for the next 5 years. So I believe personally, it will be more and more important to have sustainable raw materials, sustainable processes, more sustainable packaging. You mentioned circular economy. I think these are buzzwords that will not just stay buzzwords. I mean, we will have to work hard to get a better sustainability, or to come, I don't know, CO2 neutrality, or even to be positive in a CO2 levels. I don't know if that is answering the question from person who asked, but I think it's for sure has a big role, plays a big role in everything we do, and more and more.
And I think nature and the environment is one part of sustainability, but also when it comes to the product or the service itself, it needs to be sustainable for our customers. Let's just take a basic example. We don't want to have an offer like 5 days and then you lose 10 kilos of weight because we think this is healthy. This is just not sustainable for the customer. So it also needs to be sustainable for our customers, that they can actually have a better life through our products and services. I think that's also a key part.
Thank you, Cécile. Yeah, fair point. Jacopo, would you like to add anything from AXA's side?
Yes, I mean, it's from the AXA side. I mean, it's pretty clear. AXA is really committed to all the sustainability topics and to climate change as well. And as an innovation, I would say expert, I always look at innovation. I always look at the sweet spot of innovation. You probably all know the 3 lenses of innovation: desirability, feasibility, and viability. And I'm pretty sure that during the next years, 4th lenses will appear in this graph. And this is sustainability. I mean, nowadays, if you do not create innovation which is sustainable in the long term, you probably fail from the very beginning, to be honest. So I think sustainability will be a key pillar in innovation in the next years.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, and it's really heartening to see all of our partners come together and our startups come together and actually discuss what sustainability also looks like in innovation and in collaboration. So that's really an exciting part. I think we have one last question, and then as we don't have many more questions, we can give everybody an extra 5 minutes for an end of day coffee. But the last question is, what's the best to mention in an application? I'm happy to jump in for a second, and then please, Francisca, Reggie, please add. But I think as you've heard from our partners and our startups, it's important to come prepared, and part of that preparation is really understanding what type of collaboration you seek, but also knowing what the needs of that partner might be. So I think actually helping the partners also connect the dots and outlining, hey, this is what I see we could really do with AXA or with Migros, calling it out is really valuable. But I will also pass the word to my colleagues, but also if Daniel, Cécile, and Jacopo have thoughts on this would be great.
Okay, I can just add a few comments. It's also good to mention what is your, what have been doing your last experiences, what have been you connected with other accelerators, other pilot projects and commercial projects, and just showing some traction of numbers that will help as well. And showing interest that you want to scale in Switzerland, and as well, you are open for flexibility, as the partners say.
I know you all shared some tips before on what you're looking for and what the types of startups you're looking for, but if you have any last notes of advice, please feel free to jump in.
I guess it's also about being creative and really have an interesting and powerful presentation or application, because it's going to be a lot for us to get in touch with all of the startups. And if you can just like make us think about you in some way, then most probably already win.
Yeah, and it comes with a clear, specific business case, or be very specific. What is your innovation? What is your idea? And how can it help or improve something or change something? Be very specific, I would say as well.
Great. Well, thanks a lot to everyone here who took the time to share your experiences. I think it's really shown that collaborations or just trying something between externally or internally between startups and established institutions can really be win-win for the end user as well. So really a big thank you to our speakers, and a big thank you to also those who have listened in to our audience, and of course to Franziska and Regina and Andrea who made this possible. I'm just going to show our emails here for a moment, so that if you want to get in touch with us, please do send us an email, and there might be a chance that we extend our application deadline. So stay tuned. And with that, I wish you all a very wonderful evening ahead. And thanks again for joining us.